Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We're here to discuss a topic that touches, I think, each and every one of us in our lives, professionally and personally, and that is how do we find the right balance or equilibrium between human output and human creativity and the fantastic efficiency that AI has given us. First, I want to start with you, Sheikh Mansour. Through your holding company, we just spoke backstage and you were explaining that you invest in people. And this is so important, investing in people. But yet, AI can replicate or reproduce what a lot of people do. So in what you've seen in your life as an entrepreneur or an investor, where's the balance between human creativity and AI-driven efficiency?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I know it's in the end of the day, but let's hope that I'll get you re-energized and re-excited before you leave. It's a great question, and it's all about people for me. And yeah, I think creating the balance is something that we should discuss now, because AI, a lot of people using AI as an excuse to let people live.
Well, exactly.
Which is, we are the problem, not the AI. We are letting people go using AI as an excuse.
Wow.
So this is number one. So it's us, we are the issue. I think AI is a great innovation and it will continue. And we are just at the beginning. Actually, we haven't even used it yet properly. We are still using it on individual level, not on business outcome. And I think this year will be a game-changing year for the whole businesses, especially the mature ones in advanced countries, that they will be changing the game because the efficiency, productivity will jump crazy. And now one person can do a job of 10 at the same time, at the same moment, because of the AI support and AI enablement. Said that, you don't have to lay out people, actually. I'm totally against that. And this is where my other balance comes. Actually, I will enable more people. Actually, I can recruit more people who are not capable. They will be more capable with AI. So I can, for the first time, I can grow faster and hire more people because AI will help me get incompetent person to be more competent with the AI. So I don't see why people don't see that. And it's so important that we realize that we are the issue, not the AI.
So this is a very provocative answer. I'm just going to put this out there. But John, I want to bring you in because this is something you're very familiar with, working and partnering, collaborating with organizations and companies to navigate this sort of opportunity, but also a minefield. In your, what you've seen in your work, what's the right balance here and how do you achieve that?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Mohammed, for the question. It's a great question. And just to build on what Sheikh has mentioned about the interplay between people and technology, it can't be underestimated, but I would say that if you were to push me to ask me what comes first, I think people come first. AI wouldn't exist without humanity. It was a group of intelligent people that came up with a concept of artificial intelligence, and that's just the way things will play out moving forward. I just want to highlight three phases of intelligence. There is assistant intelligence, there is autonomous intelligence, and then there's augmented intelligence. I'll start with the assisted. Assisted is when you have technology aid you to do basic tasks. So take, for instance, I'm sure we all drove here or came here through some sort of public transportation or a private car. The GPS system is an example of assisted intelligence. Augmented intelligence is where human beings partner with technology. So that's typical in the workplace, when we use Gen AI and similar tools to be productive. Autonomous intelligence is when we leave technology alone for it to go off and do its own thing, in some ways unguarded. So the trajectory is heading in that direction, and it's up to us to make sure that it doesn't go out of control. So if you want to look at the continuum, that's just one way of phrasing it. But just to build on what Sheikh mentioned, yes, the human element is the most important in this relationship.
Okay, so let me probe into this a little bit. Because we're here to talk about sort of business interest versus human interest, and sometimes they conflict. So here's a scenario. You're a business owner with a large company. What's an example? Say Microsoft, for example. Microsoft finds that they have a sales team of 100 people. AI can replicate maybe 80% of what that sales team does. So if you do the math, why would you choose people over technology when at the end of the day, you care about your bottom line?
Yeah.
I'll leave that to both of you.
The answer is obvious for me, of course, because people are the business, actually. It's not the business. The business is people. And I'm here for people. Without them, there is no life. I mean, I always give an example of how much we are very people, but we don't realize how much we are nothing without each other together. When you go to the best place that you enjoy yourself is fun fair. Imagine you go to the best fun fair in the planet, but alone, nobody with you. How much you will enjoy the fun fair? It's the fun fair. It's the best place you can enjoy yourself, but you are alone, and everything is functioning, but you are alone. I think you got the answer already. So it's about us. Even in fun, it's about our interactions. We see each other, even crying, scary. That's the beauty of us. We are a social people. So business is people. There is nothing called business for me. But let me answer you also on Microsoft. I'm sorry I'm taking a little bit more time, but this is very important because it's a mindset. We have to really evolve our mindset. And that's what I call, I'm very popular on innovating innovation, which I can discuss probably offline, which is our mindset innovation. We are innovating everything around us, but we forgot us. So Microsoft, let's say they have 100 functioning with an output of 1,000 to make it easy. Now with AI, I can do 100 that can function with like 1,000 to produce 10,000. So why I don't think to go to the 10,000 instead of getting rid of the 100 and achieving 1,000? So I'll keep the 100 and enable them to reach the 10,000. So I'll scale up faster, I'll grow faster, I'll keep more people actually. And I don't think we should think of replacing people. I think we should do more with them and give them more time for themselves and their families, which is today abusing people, honestly. But with AI, we don't have to do that because the AI can relieve them. They can produce 10 times more with less. So I would see it actually, it's a blessing, and it's a mindset.
So John, just going deeper into this, can you share some examples of the partners and the companies that you've worked with that have found that right balance, that have found a way to sort of implement what Sheikh Mansour has been talking about?
Absolutely. I can give you some examples that we don't necessarily work with some of these companies, sure, but I can certainly give you some examples. So Adobe Illustrator, as you know, or Adobe, if we just call them as they are now, have this platform called Firefly, which is a co-created AI-powered platform to encourage creators, both internally and externally, to use Adobe products to produce their work. And the unique thing about it is that it's both for internal staff, but also for external customers. So they sort of work together on this unique platform. That's a great example, I think, of AI bringing customers and people together. Then if you take companies like Salesforce, and as you all know, I don't know how many of you use Salesforce, but they've got an amazing CRM system. We're not clients of Salesforce, by the way. I just think that it's a good platform. But they've got a new product called Agentforce, which is an agentic AI product. But again, it's being used by both their staff and also clients. So these are all examples of AI being an enabler of tasks, but also human co-creation. And I think these two examples are quite unique. There are several others, but I think these two give you a bit of a perspective how AI can bring customers and internal teams together.
So I want to talk about an issue that's a hot button issue right now, which is regulation in AI.
Yeah.
And it's a stark contrast between what you see in Europe, which is a move to regulate, which is in part, not fully, but in part, to protect jobs, to protect families, so that AI just doesn't replace everything.
Yeah.
Versus parts of North America, which is kind of like the Wild West, which is driven very much by basic capitalist values, right? Which is let's just go out and make money and let's not worry about the effects of this. Since we're talking about balance here, what's the right approach when it comes to regulation?
I think regulation is a must because of the power of anything against public. If you see the most regulated industries in the world, pharmaceutical, medicine, health, and aviation. Why? Because it's the most impactful for a human. Like if an airplane crash, human gone. If a medicine is being misused, the human is gone. So the more impact on the public, the more you need to regulate. But this regulation has to be, I think this is more challenging because it's wider, it's horizontal, it's not vertical, it's everywhere in different layers, in different level. So how can you regulate what? What pieces? Yeah. So I think the challenge is not, the question is not do we regulate or not, it's what do we regulate. So regulation, I think it's a must because it's very powerful tool. It's a very powerful concept. It's very powerful technology. And regulation has to be there, but it should not stop innovation. It should not stop invention. It should not give a limited freedom, but also should not cross privacy.
There's also, touching on what you said in the beginning of your answer, AI is unlike anything else when it comes to trying to regulate it.
Yeah.
So for example, I grew up when we used to have cassette tapes, and we would listen to music on cassette tapes. And you could go to the store, buy one, and you could make 100 copies for your friends, and you only had to buy one, but you came out with 100.
I did that, yeah.
Many of us did. It was the same with CD-ROMs, if you remember. It was the same with DVDs at one point. And so the answer was, when things moved digitally and when they went to Spotify and other places, it became very difficult to pirate these copies. And so what you would do is, okay, it didn't maybe affect you because you didn't want to watch this movie or you didn't want to listen to this song. But that's not what AI is. AI is going to touch everything.
Yes, absolutely.
And so now the difficulty of regulating this becomes much more.
Yeah.
John, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I agree with Sheikh. You've probably guessed that I agree with Sheikh with everything. But I think that we've got to protect data as much as possible in terms of the information that we give away to products and services powered by AI. So in terms of regulation, I think that has to be something that's emphasized. But I also admire the freedom that comes with innovation. And so it is a balance, just to come back to what Sheikh said at the top of the conversation, that it's all about balance, and too much of one thing isn't good. We've got to encourage innovation and growth of AI-enabled products and services in growing markets. And I understand that there's something called the EU AI Act, which is a discussion point, so we'll see how that evolves. But I think let's give freedom, let's self-regulate, and protect data as much as possible.
It's very interesting. For those of you that have been following the news in AI, Mr. Elon Musk made an offer to buy OpenAI, 97 billion. They turned it down. I think it was the second time he threw out a number and he turned it down. But he actually started talking about regulating AI, which is very interesting for somebody who's a free speech absolutist, for somebody who's like a free market absolutist. He came out, I think it was a year or two ago, and said, look, we really need to start thinking about regulating this thing because we have no idea how powerful it can get.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are forces out there that are interested for the greater good in regulating AI. Let's talk very quickly in the last couple of minutes we have about trust. We're all individual consumers. Many of us are employees. We can choose who we support. We can choose who we work for. We can choose what companies we think are good or bad. As AI becomes integrated more into workflows, what's the sign? What should a person look for in a company to say, yes, this is ethical use of AI? What are some indications of that?
Trust is very important because trust is a human element. It's one of the most important. Freedom, trust is one of the most important things for a human to prosper, actually. Honestly, this is something has to be human. I want to trust AI. I just want to trust it.
So here's an example. If you're applying for a job,
Because this is where human comes. It's very wrong to give a human value to anything.
so previously, if you were applying for a job, you had to meet somebody, sit in a room, shake their hand, and they would assess you. Now it's all done through avatars. You could actually work for a company without ever meeting somebody because you're just doing it with an avatar. John, what's the right way for a company to establish trust with its consumers or its employees to say, yes, we're using AI ethically?
I think it's a great question. I think creating safe spaces for your teams, if you have a business, is important for them to experiment with AI products, and also for customers to be part of that conversation. I feel that we've started looking at exploring that in our own consultancy to then make it a discussion point, to have open debates, but also learning and education. Really teaching people and enabling people to be open to the idea of learning about AI, to eradicate that element of fear, because I think fear is the biggest barrier to building trust. And the more knowledge one has about AI, the less barriers there will be, the more trust is built. So I feel those safe spaces are important.
Perfect. Thank you, both of you, for sharing your education, your expertise. Thank you all for joining us in this session.
Thank you.
John and Sheikh Mansour, please enjoy the rest of your day here at Web Summit Doha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.